Conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anup Pujari from CDR India. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Balrampur Chini Mills Q2 and H1 FY23 results conference call. We have with us today Mr. Vivek Saraogi, Chairman and Managing Director, Ms. Avantika Saraogi, Business Lead, and Mr. Pramod Patwari, Chief Financial Officer of the company. We will initiate the call with opening remarks from the management, following which we'll have the forum open for a question and answer session. Before we begin, I would like to point out that some statements made in today's call may be forward-looking in nature, and a disclaimer to this effect has been included in the results presentation shared with you earlier. I would now like to invite Mr. Saraogi to make his opening remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Balrampur's Q2 FY23 earnings conference call. I trust you have all had the opportunity to go through our results presentation, providing details of our operation and financial performance. I will initiate the call with an update on the current development in the sugar sector, followed by our company's key highlights for the period under review. According to ISMA's latest estimates, India is expected to produce 36.5 million tons of sugar after accounting for a diversion of 4.5 million tons. So more visibility on this probably would be available after a month where, mills have all got into full swing and we get the first evidence of the yield of the return crop. The growth is likely to be on account of higher acreage and the sugarcane in the country. Given our consumption of 28 million and inventory of 6 million, we remain in a surplus situation. So it is expected that we would need to export around 8 million this season to ensure stability in prices while safeguarding the availability for sugar in the domestic market. Pragmatic export policies have been followed by the government in the past, which have ensured sugar prices remain remunerative. So in a welcome move, the government has already allowed an export of 6 million tons, and the industry is hopeful that this should get further extended as the season progresses and we have more clarity on the production. So assume the production is not 36.5 and it's 35.5, the government would probably tweak up the export from 6 million to 7 million. Moving to the ethanol sector, as most of you are aware, the government has increased the procurement price of ethanol for the ethanol supply year 20-23. This should provide impetus to the country's plan to achieve 12% blending of ethanol with petrol this year. As the third largest importer of oil and consumer in the world, India is clearly making efforts to double the ethanol blending program to 20% from the current level of 10% by 25-26. Maybe it could happen a year earlier. On the business front, the company reported subdued results during the quarter owing to lower cane availability and lower recovery witnessed during the season 21-22. This impacted the sugar division's performance in this non-productive quarter. While we witnessed some unseasonal rains in Uttar Pradesh, the impact is expected to be marginal, as the crop was already had attained a certain level of maturity. So there will be some delay in starting a few mills by 5 to 7 days. However, cane availability for us in the current year is estimated to be 15 to 20% higher than last year, in the range of 10.25 to 10.5 crore quintals, against 8.88 crore quintals last year. We will get further better clarity on this within a month, as I indicated, both at the company level and at the country level. This estimated level of cane will enable us to deliver a healthier operational and financial performance in the next year owing to better availability, not only to make sugar, but for the byproducts as well. Coming to our distillery business, our CapEx plan for the distillery segment is on schedule and will significantly augment our capacity to 1,050 KLPD by November 22, resulting in a total ethanol distillation of capacity of 35 crore liters annually, including 5 crore from grain. This includes our cutting-edge distillery project in Mirzapur, which should be one of its kind in the country. This would work on juice, B-heavy, grains as and when whatever feedstock is provided. To conclude, BCML has always aspired for optimal investments in its operations, as well as creating value for the shareholders. To that extent, we are pleased that the board of directors has approved the 6th consecutive buyback program of equity shares of 40.4 lakhs shares.
That is the maximum indicated.
At a maximum price of 360 per share. This, I would now like to hand the floor over to Pramod to take the call forward. Pramod.
Thank you and good day, everyone. We can straight away move into the Q&A section as the detailed presentation has already been shared. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Participants who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Lokesh Maru from Nippon India Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, I have just one question. After Q4, it is quite evident that if we have 15-20% higher cane, the next season is going to be quite upbeat. My question is only on the next quarter, which is Q3. Given that the inventory valuation that we have taken for sugar at 35, our inventory at 10.9 lakh quintals compared to 18 before, and again our inventory on alcohol side, ethanol side. So how would you portray Q3, as in would the pain from Q1 or the loss from Q1 continue in Q3 and then Q4 is actually going to be really good, or just for Q3, how do you see Q3 as such?
Pramod.
Q4 will always be a best quarter in terms of the seasonality. Now, as far as the Q3 goes, we have mentioned in the presentation as well, we got an export quota of 1.9 lakh tons, 1.98 lakh tons. Out of that, 1.4 lakh tons has already been contracted for physical export, and we have sold our quota of 56,000 tons. Some portion of gain will accrue in quarter 3.
Yeah, and the crushing begins in quarter 3, though 3-4 days late, so that's not a big deal. So I don't think we give a quarter-to-quarter forward-looking statement, but yes, quarter 3 will not look like this at all.
Sure, sir. Got that. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shailesh Kanani from Centrum Broking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, a couple of questions. One on the sugar export front, what we have contracted. Will be shipping out in the third quarter or the fourth quarter? How would that pan out? And what would be the bifurcation between raw sugar and refined sugar in that, sir?
Shailesh, we cannot give the exact quantity which will be shipped in the third quarter or fourth quarter. But okay, our endeavor would be to ship as quickly as possible.
But shipment, some part would happen.
Yes, some part will definitely happen in the third quarter also. So out of 1.4 lakh tons, 35,000 is the raw sugar, and the rest is refined sugar.
out of 1.4, 35,000 is
Raw
Right.
sugar and 1.05 is refined sugar.
Right.
okay.
So it is 25-75.
Okay, fair enough. But this should be shipped by the financial year end, that is March 23, right?
Large
extent.
90% plus more. 90% types.
Okay.
Only a small
fair
quantity can get spill over in
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. So second front on the distillery front, we have seen a decline on volume front as well on the ethanol business. So can you shed some light on that? And also, our Mirzapur plant is it's operational. Are we planning to run for the next couple of months on grain, given the availability of molasses would be less and inventory is also less? So can you just highlight something on the distillery front?
So distillery gets its feedstock from sugar cane. So sugar cane is less, molasses is less, distillery volume will be less. Right?
Right.
Clear? Now,
Right, sir.
So since sugar business will also begin, our dates are just, around the corner, and obviously as and when the distillery starts, we will intimate the exchange. So you will hear with that together. So sugar season coinciding with commencing of distillery, probably a very little portion of time could be done, on grain to just test out the plant. And then you switch to sugar in Mirzapur. Thereafter, once the season closes, you can go full on in grain. That is the basic program.
Okay. And just to get some numbers, Mirzapur would be running for say 30-40 days in this quarter, for the quarter 3.
So I repeat myself, as and when we are able to, as and when we commission Mirzapur, we have to inform the exchange. So it's unfair of me to, sort of preempt that announcement.
Sure. Okay, sir. Sir, a couple of more questions. Sir, has crushing started in any of our plants as of now? Or any tentative ways you can share?
Okay. We are beginning crushing today.
Okay.
Right.
And any timeline for the remaining plants?
Sorry?
Any timeline for the remaining plants?
So progressively from, like say 10, then 15, then 18, like that, plants will begin, and probably everything should begin around the 1st December.
Fair enough. Okay, sir. So last question from my side. Sir, what would be the vision from the management side, from both perspective on the long term, not only from say 2 years down the line when a new capacities are on stream, and in general, how would you vision Balrampur Chini to be say 3 years, 5 years down the line? What is the vision for the company from the management side?
So we continue to explore related businesses and be, sort of fleet-footed and light in terms of our balance sheet for any good opportunity of acquisition. Having said that, we will not only be waiting for acquisition, we would be looking at other projects. Should they make commercial sense, and should the board be convinced, management and the board, you will hear about it. But right now, it's on the drawing board stage. It's a little ahead. Everything is being vetted internally.
So actually, if I can just extend that one, actually, I was thinking more from de-risking our business model, or the way we have kind of little bit de-risked by enhancing our capacity on the distillery front. Are we thinking something on similar lines, be it little long term, but are we thinking on similar lines from one segment, say sugar, to other segments?
Currently, with 1,050 crore distillation, 1,050 KLPD distillation, we will be able to handle 11.5 to 12 crores quintal of cane, which we hope to get next year itself. In the process, one would keep revisiting and seeing if there is scope for more distilleries, scope for more expansion, and therefore, internal debottlenecking, if some can be expanded and cane can go up further and some distillation needs to be added further. So
Okay.
today, the distillation business which you are asking for, we already would have the distillation capacity in the current year to crush 11.5 crore quintals, against which we are expecting 10.5 crore quintals this year, which is 18% higher than last year's 888.
Right. Fair enough, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. I'll join back with you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nishant Sharma from Edelweiss Wealth. Please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
please.
Yeah. Thank you. First of all, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, two questions from a previous participants, just to reconfirm. On the distillery side, you said whenever it will start, we'll first start with the grain, post which basis the sugar season starts, so we'll switch to sugar. And once the sugar season gets over, we'll again get back to grain. Am I correct on this, sir?
Absolutely correct.
Sir, then how we would be switching? I mean, is there a time lag which would be required for switching from grain to sugar, or it's absolutely in a day or two? I mean, how that transition takes place?
In a day or two. In a day.
Okay, so it's nothing major we will be able to losing up, because like for Q3, it's already 45 days are over, and so I'm just trying to understand that we won't be losing out much in terms of the production day.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sugar juice will take predominance over anything else. Having said that, as you understood, and your initial remarks on the call were absolutely correct.
Okay. Second, in terms of the export, again, little bit of clarification here, that out of the, whatever 1.4 lakh tons that we got the quota, this is out of the entire quota. This is just for the time. I mean, we may get more allotment or a quota going forward.
As and when the 60 lakh tons or 6 million ton enhances on the country level, when 6 million goes up, you'll get more quota.
Okay. So currently, if you can just once again elaborate, what exactly quota that we got it out of the 60 lakh ton?
1.98 lakh tons.
Okay. And of that 1.98, we have already contracted 1.4, which we are planning to complete it by March.
Most of it by March.
Okay. So most of 1.98.
Yes.
Second, sir, in terms of the export policy with respect to swapping of quota, so here this swapping is between mills to mills, or it will happen through government, and how do you foresee this change from a sector per se as well as from a company per se?
I don't understand the relevance of your question. If I may understand a little more what you're trying to ask. But
so again, so before asking question, possibly I may require that understanding that if I'm not wrong, in the recent sugar export policy, government has stated that the mill owners who are unable to do exports or who are not interested in doing exports, so they can submit their quota of export either to government, or they can also swap it with the other companies.
I understood your question. Don't worry. He can sell his quota, so there's no problem. Nothing will be affected.
So I am asking more from a perspective that I am pretty sure that we can sell it. Is there an opportunity that we can have a more export sales with that swapping, or we should? Is there any particular pointers that where we would be thinking whether we should take excessive export, or we should more focus on the domestic side. So just wanted to understand that swap. What could be the factors that would be affecting that swapping or considering those swapping?
As far as Balrampur Chini is concerned, we will continue to revisit our strategy on this exports and domestic. It is a fungible policy which the government has put in place, and at relevant point in time, we will take the decision.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I'll fall back in.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Richard D'Souza from SBI Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. So I just wanted to ask, in the introductory remarks, it was mentioned that cane availability could be about 15 to 20% higher in the current sugar year. So what gives us this confidence, sir?
Yeah, Avantika, will you take that question?
Yeah. Hi, thank you so much for the question. Basically, even though this untimely November rain has October rain has scared people, as mentioned by the chairman, it was quite late in the cycle when the crop had already reached a certain maturity. If I may give you a bit more technicalities, at the time of the initial growth, that is the main time frame where the weather was very, very conducive. So we were able to attain many more tillers, which increases the quantity right off the bat. After this, it's just a matter of attaining height. So it has impacted very marginally. We have been reviewing time and time again. Cane availability is, the yield is higher per acre. Also, our area under cane is 8% higher. So therefore, we are quite confident on the 15 to 20% increase in cane. I think it should not be a problem.
Thank you.
Just to continue on this, ma'am, last year we had some issues with the CO0238 seeds, and we were planning to replace it with the new variety of seeds or with a different variety of seeds. So how was the transition fructified?
So thank you again for remembering. It's definitely on the up and up. Our planning, our projection has happened, whatever we were planning. So we are down by 15-20% on 238. Slowly and steadily it's reducing. Plus we have gotten much more aware of the disease and how to control it and not bring it till our mill gate. So that procedure has been airtight almost, I would say, through these few months we have been at it. I think the recoveries will also be much better because of the better varietal balance also. Plus within 238 also it will be cleaner. And there's lesser incidence in terms of each plot. So, less spread because we were able to control.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I'll come.
There is another evidence that there is a testing done before the start of season. Yeah. That is called the handmill analysis. Even that shows recovery to be better. Trend will be better, much better than last year.
Okay. So can we assume a recovery rate of what was there a couple of years back?
Yes, one can definitely hope for that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I will come back in line. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Achal Lohade from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking my question. Sorry, I joined a little bit late. If you would have addressed it. Sir, if you could clarify on the lower sales volume for distillery in terms of the target, what earlier we had indicated. Are we on track to achieve that FY13 distillery sales volume target?
Yes, Achal. We are on track as far as FY23 is concerned.
Which is somewhere around 15.5 crore litre, if I recall right, sir.
Total alcohol supply would be around 23 to 24 crores litre.
That is for next year, you think, right?
FY23.
This year, cane availability was lower. Distillery, if cane is lower, molasses is lower, distillery capacity will be lower. In the year gone by. In the year to come, Pramod is giving into the year.
And for FY24, it should be around 35 crores.
Understood. At 24, 35 per liter. Sir, if you could help us with the realization for the second quarter in terms of the ENA and also the quantity. And is there any inventory write-down in the distillery segment pertaining to ENA?
There is no inventory write-down as far as ENA is concerned. And for you want separately the figures of ENA that I will share at a later time.
Understood.
I don't have the figure as of now in front of me.
ENA is insignificant. That's what.
Okay, because if I look at the production number, the BC, the balance is substantially large number, while in the sales volume it is substantially lower number. If you could help us understand that in the second quarter.
I think Pramod will see.
Production during the second quarter of alcohol was around 3.87 crores liter.
Yes.
Yeah, and sale was around 4.11 crore liter.
No, sir. What I'm saying is X of B and C ethanol, the production was 3.87 and the sales was 6.2, if I have got the numbers right.
No. 3.87 is the total production, including ethanol and non-ethanol products also.
Okay. Got it. And if I may ask, what is the impact of this wage revision? You have quantified for the total impact, but on a recurring basis, what is the cost impact of this wage revision?
Maybe 1.5 crore annually.
Oh, that's it. Okay. And if you could also clarify on this molasses quota part as to what is the quantum now and what is the impact of that in the September quarter with respect to that?
So, as far as molasses policy revisit is concerned, we don't sell molasses. Normally, we don't sell molasses, but we are converting that into ENA for discharging the obligation. So, as and when the ENA gets sell out, the impact is already in the accounts.
And just to clarify, the current year's molasses policy which has come out, the country liquor policy is a lot friendlier than the previous one.
Would it be possible to elaborate a bit, sir, on that?
No, we are under reading. It will require more vetting, but it is seeming to be friendlier. That's all one can say now.
Got it. And with respect to the cane crushing, you said 10.5 million tons for the current season, sugar season 23. Would it be possible to give some idea in terms of fiscal year, sir? How it will look like?
Fiscal, you can take 90 plus 45. 80% of that.
Okay, he's calculating. We do season wise, or not just calculate. Yeah, continue with another question.
Sure. If I may ask a couple of more questions.
Maybe around 10 crores. Around 10 crores quintal in FY23.
Okay, 10 crore quintals in FY23. And I think Vivekji...
May I request you to please rejoin?
I'll come back in the queue, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nitin Awasthi from InCred Equities. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to understand, sir, what were the expectations of the revised rates of ethanol that you had, and how do you perceive the rates given by the government as of now? You as the company and you as the representative of the industry, how do you perceive these rates? Do you think it's fair? Do you think there's a revision required?
So let's be clear as to what the thinking going around is. There was a special incentive given for 4 months now. July onwards, is it? From July to November, something like that. Yeah, from July to November, August to November, so that if you supplied more than your if you supplied during that period, you would get something higher in terms of 2 rupees odd.
1.46.
Yeah. So that was done to incentivize during those 4 months. One cannot expect that to be a part of the rate. Hence, the rate which has been announced by the government is a function of increase in FRP as a percentage. Two, I would be hopeful, and this is just again a very personal remark, absolutely personal, as to the same incentive might come around during those 4 months in the current year. So if I'm to see repetition of protocol, if government does not get its quantity, maybe that incentive comes in the next 4 months. Thirdly, what Pramod has been saying is, even in the interview today, the additional capacity now has to come from sacrifice of juice rather than B-heavy, for which you need new capacity addition. For the attracting new capacity and giving the new capacity a decent IRR, you would need a price which is higher than this current price of about 65 half.
65 and a half.
Yeah. So these are, specific remarks to your questions.
Got it, sir. So the second question relating to the first one is that given that currently we have capacities of molasses, grain and juice, and you would do the math better than anybody else, would you still go for the juice route in the current season, or the molasses route is more profitable?
Juice.
Even at the current rate, juice is more profitable.
Yeah, the investment's already been set up. Basis juice in one unit.
Oh.
So we will go ahead and do the juice.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anupam Goswami from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. So my first question on what is your aim on the distillery mix? So where do we see how much cane diversion happening towards A and how much B, and what would be the rest of the grain liters in this? Let's say on FY24 basis, 35 crore liters if we are targeting.
So we will answer your question from the sugar season perspective.
Okay.
So we will be diverting around 6%.
Maybe 7 or
maybe 8%. 8% in juice and 20% for ENA, and the rest will go to BAE.
Okay. And rest would be for grain. So our endeavor mostly still lies on B heavy more, and because of the higher margins still now, sir?
It's all a very related business. So it's, let us run the juice which is being done for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Let us see the return. We hope to get a very good return. Once we establish everything, the juice capacity is limited. So if one will deal with all these mathematics the moment we have stabilized and run it. So as someone said, we know our numbers well. Trust us with that.
Okay. Okay. And sir, do you have any chance of SAP again being hiked? Because last year we had a hefty hike, and this year what's the probability?
Hoping for no hike.
Okay. Okay, sir. And sir, last question. We are heading towards, let's say, a 6 million ton next season diversion. So where do we see 6 million ton, and how much liters we can produce as an industry out of that? And going beyond, where do you see or any government support required for going beyond that?
Let this season pass at 4.5. You're saying next year 6 million. It's too early to comment today.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. I'll join back in the queue.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nikhil Gada from Abacus Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So my first question is regarding the exports bit, where you said that it's going to be in the ratio of 25 to 75. Would it be possible to even share the realizations, what we would be garnering over here?
So, yes, we are still in the process of pricing it. We'll get back to you. Yeah, see, we are going to sell refined sugar as a major part of it. 75% refined sugar.
And realization there would... Yeah.
It will be very good realization.
Understood. Got it.
We'll give you the figure during the call only.
Okay, sir. Sir, my second question is just when you mentioned that for the distillery breakup, 8% juice, 20% ENA, that means basically C-heavy, right? Through C-heavy route.
Yes, that is the liability to be discharged as per the policy for country liquors. If you give molasses, you get a poor realization. You give ENA, you get a better realization.
Understood. Got it. Right, sir. Understood. And sir, lastly, any comments on the global prices and how do you see them? Because in last, I think a month or so, we have seen a very sharp spike in sugar prices globally. And how do you see the situation with the expectations of Brazil and Thailand coming back to normalcy in terms of their production?
So it is raining in Brazil and Thailand, so probably the crop might not be as good as one thought.
Mm-hmm.
And this price right now is very lucrative. It is gone up and it is a golden chance for Indian exports to be priced in. We feel more than 4 million must have been done.
Got it, sir. That would be all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dixit Mittal from LIC Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. So my question is on expected recovery this season. Can you give some guidance on that?
So as we said in the beginning, as Anantik had mentioned, see, understand, let me explain to you a little more about the cane crop. So when the yield is good, the cane is healthier. So when the cane is, each stick is healthy, the recovery, sucrose inside it is higher. So we are hoping for a better recovery based on the hand mill analysis and based on the weight of the mother fruit. So that trend is higher definitely. In our area, we've done the mapping, and once we start the crushing, we'll get more and more data as we proceed.
Okay, so can we expect at least 1% higher recovery, or is too much to expect?
No. So somebody commented that can we expect what we got 2 years back? So that was probably 0.3 or 0.4 higher than this. 0.3 higher than the current year. My answer was yes. We can definitely expect that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bhavin Chera. I'm so sorry. Mr. Bhavin Chera left the queue. We'll move to the next question, which is from the line of Shailesh Kanani from Centrum Broking. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity again, sir. So just a small clarification. When we guided for 23 crores alcohol sale, that is for FY23. Is that right?
Yes.
So that would imply implied growth of around 65 to 70% nearly in the second half of the year, in which I think we are already. I think that is basically balance 4.5 months, right? So is that achievable? No, that is 65-70% jump on volume terms.
Yeah, we will get full 4 months of working.
Okay, because the first half volumes around 9.3 alcohol sales, total alcohol sales. So if we are guiding for 23, so we basically would be doing something in the range of 14 crores.
Let's see. 23 is the number we are working on.
Yeah. So when you make juice, you make hell of a lot more quantity, and
right.
The tender should be accepted and the dispatch should be much faster.
Okay.
I mean, probably, this is the target. If it's here or there by 1 month, that's the maximum error you can expect.
Okay, because see, the reason I asked is because the operational months are only 4.5 months. So if we are off by 1 month, that would be nearly 25%, right? So it would be something in the range of 11-12 crores in that case.
So basically, our production, we know, we are hoping for that dispatch as per the tender fielding. Now, if the government body delays lifting by 10-15 days, you are talking balance sheet impact and sensitivity thereof. I cannot guarantee that because I'm not the government, I'm not the OMC. But seeing the past practice, it looks definitely possible.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
Possibility. 22 to 23 is a possibility.
Yeah. So that is basically a range I just wanted to clarify on that. Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the clarification.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Achal Lohade from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Sir, my question was, pertaining to the cane development program. What you had mentioned is that for the current season, 10.5 million ton, for the next season, 11.5 to 12 million ton. So the question is, how much more scope do we have given our catchment area? B, is that would also that require additional crushing capacity to be set up?
So I'll take your question. So in the east, where 8 of our factories are located, there is a lot of scope for acreage increase. There's no shortage really, and we don't need to set up more crushing capacity to handle up to 11.5 million tons.
Beyond that, ma'am.
Sorry?
Is there any plan to set up? Is there plan to increase the acreage further and hence?
Please then revisit the topic.
Understood. The second question I had, with respect to the, exports for the industry in the last season of the total export 11.2, how much would be white sugar and how much would be raw sugar? Would there be any idea on that? And because why I'm asking, because the refined sugar, the current realization appears to be extremely lucrative. So just wondering, if most of the sugar exports will be of refined grade.
Okay, I don't have the figures right now available in front of me, but what I recall, out of 11.2 million tons, 4 lakh or 5 lakh tons was refined sugar. And we don't have the breakup of raw and white as of now.
So we try our refined export, which we tied up, is a little above 38 and raw above 34.
Understood. This is very helpful, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you very much. I hope we have been able to answer all your questions satisfactorily. Should you need any further clarification or would you like to know more about the company, please feel free to contact us. I again thank you for taking the time to join us on this call. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. On behalf of Balrampur Chini Mills, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.